Okay, hi everybody. I've had a request to do a video about housebreaking, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and it also relates to crate training. The two kind of go together, so I'm going to talk about both. So basically, whether you have a puppy or an adult dog that you're trying to housebreak, the number one thing that you need to remember is that you have to supervise your dog or puppy in the house at all times until they are housebroken. That sounds like a huge task, and it kind of is. But you know that back in the old days, we used to when the puppy would use the bathroom in the house, we would rub their nose in it and swat them with a newspaper and tell them no. Well, we know now that that's ineffective. The dog does not understand that you're punishing them for using the bathroom in the house, unless the only way that you can help them make that connection in the head is to catch them while they are in the act of using the bathroom in the house. If you get them afterwards, your opportunity to correct that has passed. So that's why you will need to supervise your dog at all times when they are loose in the house until they are 100% reliable on their house training. So what I recommend is when you cannot supervise your dog is to put them in a crate. And the crate should be not not huge compared to the dog's size. Dogs naturally, most dogs do not want to potty where they sleep or lie down. So if you put your dog in a crate and the crate is not that much bigger than the dog is going to see that space as their space, and they're probably not going to potty in there. If you have a little bitty dog in a great big crate, they might go over to one far corner and use the bathroom, and then they can get away from it in another part of the crate. So you want a crate that's not too much bigger than your dog when you're potty training. So when you cannot supervise your dog in the house, they should be in a crate. You can, if you're walking around the house doing dishes or whatever, I recommend having your dog on a leash, and in order to keep your dog where you can supervise them, you can take their leash and pretend my arm is your waist. Wouldn't you like to have a waist that small? And so you would wrap it around your waist and then loop the end of it through the handle like so. So this is going to be around your waist, and then this would be attached to your dog's collar. So that way your dog has to be within a couple of feet of you, and you can supervise them that way, and that way your hands are free to do stuff, but your dog is going to be right around you. And that way, if they start to use the bathroom or start sniffing like you think they're going to use the bathroom, immediately take them out. If they start to use the bathroom in the house, pick them up and take them outside. And when they're outside and they potty, you need to praise them just lavishly and give them a treat. You want to reward that behavior and to help them understand that's what you want. I wouldn't so much punish them for using the bathroom in the house, but if you can catch them in the act, I've found that's really effective to pick them up and take them out, and then they usually go immediately outside, and that's a good opportunity to reward what you want them to do. So, you will use, tether them to you like I showed you with the leash, or if you just absolutely can't do that, then they need to go in their crate. There are some things you can do to make crate time a happier time for them. Um, a lot of times dogs will look at that crate as a safe haven. So need to help them to associate good things with being in that crate. The first thing that you should do is always feed them their meals in their crate so that they associate that crate with something good, which is their food. Also, there are things you can give them in their crate that are good, that would help them associate good things with the crate. I've talked about this before, but one is the Kong toy. It's hollow inside. It's a very thick rubber toy, and you can fill that toy with I use a lot of times the no sugar added applesauce and fill with that, and I freeze it and then give it to them so it lasts a while. It gives them something to do in the crate. You can fill it with pumpkin or yogurt or oatmeal, anything like that. It's a nice thing for them to have in their crate. And like I said, feed them their meals in the crate. And if they bark and carry on in the crate, one thing you can do is to cover the crate with a sheet or a towel. Sometimes if you take away the visual stimulation, the dog will finally settle down in the crate. And you need to give it some time. It's like kind of like a crying baby in the night. That sometimes you need to let the baby cry for a little while, and it's the same thing with a puppy. You kind of need to let them. They're trying to get you to let them out, and when they figure out that's not working, hopefully, if you've got the crate covered and everything, they're going to relax and go to sleep usually. So those are some kind of housebreaking and crate training tips. If you do have accidents in the house, you want to use an appropriate cleaner to clean that up, because if you don't, the smell, even though you can't smell it, the dog will be able to smell it, and that will encourage them to keep going in that same spot, and you don't want that. I use a product called Odoban that you can get at I think Home Depot. I think you can order it on Amazon, but it's very, very good as far as getting the odor out. So that's a very successful product. I've also heard people use vinegar to clean it, and that would probably work also. So basically, reward the pottying outside and supervise the dog inside so that you can correct the behavior, and teach your dog to be okay in a crate. It's not just for housebreaking. Sometimes some dogs are too destructive for you to leave them when you have to go somewhere loose in the house, and so people will crate their dogs when they're not home. Perfectly acceptable as long as your dog has things to chew on and play with that are safe when they're unsupervised. I also always take their collar off when they're in their crate so that they don't get their collar hung on something. And so that's another tip. And just work hard at making the crate a nice, safe, comfortable place for your dog that they want to be. There will be times when they have to be crated. Sometimes when they go to the vet, they have to be in a crate when they're there. And it will be a whole lot easier on you and your dog if they have already been trained to accept being crated. Okay, good luck.